So what about African Americans?
African Americans are a powerful people. They are a resilient people. They have, for 400 years, suffered, have experienced intentional oppression, intentional acts to suppress their innate ability to think, to discover, and to create. Black people are powerful, they are resilient, they are strong people.
What are your thoughts about the state of the African American community?
The state of the African American community is complex. I don't think that we can look at the African American community and say, well, they're this or they're that, or, yeah, he's making it, so he's okay, or, they're illiterate, they're impoverished, they refuse to work, they're just bad. There are so many variables that contribute to the Black experience. The state of the African American is that of I would say the state of the African American community is they have made it, or they are making it. Regardless of their circumstance, regardless of their situation, rich, poor, educated, not educated, articulate, stumbles over their words, no matter what, they are making it.
Are African Americans moving forward?
Yes. African Americans are moving forward day by day. When I look at the state of wokeness, every generation is becoming more and more woke. We are realizing that it's not by happenstance that these circumstances have become ours. And we're no longer owning our circumstances, but we are owning our future. And so while it may seem like some people, or while it may seem like a large sum of African Americans are going backwards, and a few are stable, and even a fewer amount are moving forward, there are a group of champions that are deepening their learning, and they're reaching back. They are informing our other brothers and sisters, and inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter, some by leaps and bounds. Others are scooting while others are walking or crawling, but we're moving forward.
What is your passion?
My passion is education. I have fallen in love, and I don't know who coined the phrase, but I have fallen in love with the phrase that says, if you take a man to a river, and I'm putting this in my own words, but if you take a man to the river and you catch a fish for him, he will eat for that day. But if you teach that man or that woman how to fish, they will eat for life. And so my passion is education. If we inform our people, if we teach them and give them the tools, then I know and I'm confident within my heart of hearts that we will continue to arise out of the abyss of our past circumstances.
How do you practice your passion?
Every day of my life, I work for Southwestern Michigan Urban League. I have been every day of my life, I work for Southwestern Michigan Urban League, and I have been given the opportunity to serve my community and to address the social ills that have been put upon us for the most part. And so I advocate, I collaborate with members of the African American communities. I collaborate with members of the African American community. I am even fortunate to collaborate with members of other communities, the Latino I am fortunate enough to collaborate with members of other communities, members of the European American community, members of the Latino American community, members of the Asian American community, to collaborate and create programs and opportunities to make learning possible for those whom have not had the opportunity.
How can someone partner with you to support the realization of your passion?
The greatest way, I think, is to join the African American Collaborative. The African American Collaborative is a group of about 100 champions within our community. They are leaders, they are formal leaders, formal in that they lead organizations, churches, movements, informal leaders as they are just people who do the work that needs to be done. And we gather together to create ways that we can ensure that the African American community is flourishing in economics, in education, in social welfare, and in politics. And you can join the African American Collaborative. We have 4 priority area groups that you can join and become a part of that movement to make this a realization.
Does it make a difference if you are in a house that is on fire or if you are on the outside looking at the house on fire?
Yes, it makes a significant difference. The value systems are different. The way one approaches the situation is different simply because of the circumstances. When you are outside of the house, you are not feeling the fire. And so your mind is able to process the fire a lot differently. In addition, you are most likely to be able to, additionally, more than likely you will be able to assess access a plethora of resources that I will not be able to access within the house. When I'm inside of the house, I'm hysterical. I'm thinking about my life. Am I going to make it out of here? How am I going to make it out of here? I'm much more reactive. Whereas when I'm outside of the house, I can be proactive.
How does your status impact your perspective relative to your passion?
It's the framework. It's the package. It's everything. It informs how you move. It is your value system. It is your pulse. It is your heart.
Okay, going back to the question about the fire, is the perspective, there's 2 perspectives, the outside perspective and the inside perspective, subjective as opposed to the objective. Which one is greater, or is any perspective greater?
There is no perspective that is necessarily greater than the other because they both add value. Specifically, when I think about the African American community, our situation in the current United States is a house on fire. And we have been in this house that is on fire for several years, decades, centuries. And we have produced a set of values, and a set of mechanisms that have allowed us to survive all of this time. And I would say that our community is at the point to where we are ready to come outside of this house. And because we have been in this house together for so long, we have come up with strategies on how to come outside of this fire. On the outside of the house, in this same United States, are, for the most part, our European American counterparts. And we also have some other champions from the Latino American community, Asian American community, some of our African natives Americans, people who were born in Africa and have come to this country, and even our Latino American community members. And being on the outside of the house, being able to access resources, and not having to endure even the residual stress, the residual oppression that has come post slavery. See, it just didn't end after slavery. We just weren't freed and allowed to roam freely throughout these United States. But there has been time and time and time of consistent new oppressions and new systems